Let's begin our practice with just coming into a centering of yourself and recognizing that whatever you're feeling in your mind, in your heart, in your body is perfectly okay. That there's nothing that needs to shift. You don't need to feel celebratory if you're not feeling celebratory. You don't need to feel sad if you're not feeling sad. Just be what you are. So, sometimes one of the hardest things to do is to recognize what that is. So allow this beginning of your practice to be an opportunity to turn inward, to settle yourself into a grounding force. So the roots of your pelvis dropping down, the ease of your hip flexors relaxing so your legs have some weight and some surrender and support. And with the broad base that you're creating for yourself, rest within that, like you can soften into the earth a little bit more and feel the support below you. When you feel anxious or overwhelmed or numb, when we can just drop into the deep support of the earth, there's something there. So feel what you can feel. And from that space of support, create space in your body. Maybe a little more lightness in your spine. Maybe arrange your heads and your chest so you're not slumping, but you're self-supporting and open. And when you find good posture where you feel relaxed, supported, at ease, open, invite your breath. A full inhale, a full exhale. And see what you can do to slow your breathing down, to come to the place of steady, steady. So whatever is happening in the mind or the body, we just come into that steady, steady rhythm of breathing. Listen to the sound of your breath and kind of let yourself fall into the sound of your breathing. Now let's begin our visualization of connection on a really beautiful, positive note. So bring into your mind's eye someone you feel deeply connected with, and that there's a lot of joy. Could be a child in your life, it could be a pet in your life, it could be a friend in your life, or anyone at all, someone that just lightens you, that brings you a sense of joy, connection, and love. And just see as you touch this chord of relationship, if it bolsters you in some way, strengthens you, supports you. And then next, see if you can visualize in your mind and hear the sound of children laughing. Maybe on a walk, you've passed a playground and seen some children playing, running, free in their bodies, laughing, giggling. Maybe you have children in your life, young children in your life that spontaneously erupt into laughter and just that wholesome um, feeling like the belonging to this world is a good thing, that um, our birthright is joy and love and connection. So just visualize either a very personal relationship with the child that you have, or someone that you've passed by at a school or in a playground, or walking down the street. And just hear the sound of child giggles, child laughter. And let that sound and that visualization remind you to trust the world. And when you feel ready, bring your hands together at your heart, and let's offer an intention. See if you can, obviously, a personal intention for yourself, but also add just a little dose of hope into that intention. Okay, so just inoculate yourself with the intention to see and feel hope around you. And release your hands, and let's find our way onto our back. All right. So have a strap for today. We're gonna need the usual accoutrements, but if you sometimes don't have a strap close by, make sure you've got one. All right, let's come down and rest on our backs for a moment. Stretch your arms overhead. Let's enjoy just reaching through your body, stretching one side a little longer, the other side a little longer, and just enjoy the simplicity. So, every step we take in our practice, every posture we get into, just like you're kind of inoculating yourself with hope, let sensation give you that feeling too. So when you feel your body and you become embodied and you feel a pleasurable stretch sensation, let it give you a sense of, oh, it's good to be in my body. It's good to be alive here today. Okay. All right, and then draw your knees into your chest, a little rocking, a little swaying. See if you can savor any good feeling you have in your body as we go along. Just look for it, notice it, savor it. Okay, let's hang on to the knees and circle, kind of rolling one way and rolling another. And let's open up our knees, kind of waking up the hip joints a little bit, just feeling our way in there and noticing. Maybe you're a little sore, maybe you're a little creaky, maybe you feel really good. Just notice what you notice. And then right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground, and give a nice good squeeze of that knee. Compress the hip joint, compress the knee joint. And let's move around in your ankles, taking that opening to let your feet free up a little bit. So much happens in our feet all throughout the day, and sometimes we can forget to give them a little attention. Okay. All right, and then cross that right knee over to the left and stretch into the chest. And any sensation you feel, try to savor what feels good. Big breath in and an exhale. The breath is also one of those sensations that you can always be looking for, to notice how nice it feels to be able to take a good breath and let it go. Roll back onto your back, bring that knee into your chest, pick up your head, nice snug squeeze, And then we'll switch sides. Put your head down, left knee into your chest. A nice good squeeze. Hug your knee and compress your hip. Move around in your ankles and your feet again, wiggling your toes. We get erase all the compression that shoes tend to give us. Let's let our feet spread out. And then we'll cross the left knee over to the right and stretch open through your chest and breathe into your chest. Notice anything you're feeling that feels really good to stretch open. All right, and then stretch back to a star, lengthening your limbs on the ground. Let's roll our wrists now and maybe wiggle your fingers, roll your fingers, shake your hands, move your feet around, feel the edges. Maybe rock your head a little bit to and fro from side to side, just feeling the very edges of your body. And then a big breath. Exhale, knees into your chest. Pick up your head. Let's repeat. Expanding, open. Notice if already you're living a little more deeply into the present just by paying attention to being in your body. One more time. Expanding. Exhale. Condensing. Keep your head down, grab onto your feet, a little bit of a happy baby. And this pose is pretty deep for the back, so be gentle. You don't have to compress all the way down. Just find what's comfy. Feel free to move around a little bit. All right, and then release that. Stretch your limbs really wide again. Knees into your chest. Pick up your head. And then relax your feet onto the ground. Let's grab our strap. We'll start out with just some deep stretching in our legs. So grab onto the strap, put it on your right foot. Left foot can be on the floor or left leg can straighten. And let's flex and point our right foot here. So getting into the calf a little bit more. Hook that strap around the front of the heel. And then maybe a little roll in the ankle or a little inversion or eversion. And then as you steady your foot, soften your shoulders, melt your head down, root your femur bone deep into the ground, and feel that sense of grounding as fast as you can. Opening up the hamstrings, opening up the hip flexors on that left leg. So if your left leg is straight, you'll get a lot of extension there. All right, well, hold on to the strap into the right hand, and we're gonna just have a little bit of movement before we hold the stretch. So kind of windshield wiper your straight leg, that right leg, left and right. So just kind of know where your leg lands in space, and then we'll open up to the side, bringing your leg out to the right. Ground through the left side of your body. Keep your head melting and soft. Relax your shoulders. Feel the roots of your left hip, your left leg dropping into the ground. Right, and then we'll lift that leg up in the air, take the strap into the left hand, and a couple of more just rocking. So as we cross the right leg over to the left, try to rock it over and back again, just to kind of warm up that action, and then we'll come into a deeper hold. So feeling as far over as you want to go, you can always put the heel of your right hand in the hip crease of your right hip, pushing it away, feeling the crown lengthen. Feel the head relax down. Stretch open through your foot and enjoy that outer hip. All right, and then relax that half happy baby. Put your left foot on the ground. Right foot is, hold the right foot with your hand now and just drop that in. And then we'll cross the right foot over to the left a little bit, as if you wanted to go to a reverse pigeon, but keep your left foot on the ground. Remove the strap for a moment. Pick up your right leg within that external rotation and just roll in your hip joint a little bit. So as if your right leg is in reverse pigeon pose, keep it like that and just do a little bit of rolling in your hip joint. And then relax that leg down and switch sides. Left leg in the strap. We'll take a moment. You can have your right leg straight or bent and start to hook the strap on the heel a little bit so you just have a leverage point and move your foot. Flex your toes, point your toes. See if you want to move into some inversion and eversion or a little rolling in your ankle. Just kind of find some of that fascia on the bottom of your foot opening up a little bit. All right, and then we'll steady the stretch. So root down through your hip, rise up through your foot. Feel that sense of ground. Release your spine and your head and your shoulders. Notice your breath again. The more you lengthen through your spine and move your left femur bone away from the shoulder and left femur bone down into the ground, the more space you're going to create. I will take the strap into the left hand and a little bit of windshield wipering, just kind of letting the legs slide left and right a little bit while it's up there in the air. And then we'll open the leg out to the left, staying grounded through the right side. Whether your right foot is on the floor, your right leg is on the ground, we're staying rooted through the right side of our body as we open up the left. Breathing. Noticing your breath, noticing the melting of your head. And then we'll lift that leg up. Take the strap into the right hand. A little teeny bit of windshield wipering here as we just gently start to let the left leg open up in this way. And then we'll cross over into whatever depth of twist you want. Heel of left hand, compress the left hip away if you'd like. Be very mindful of your whole left leg. So try not to let your foot do weird things, but just press out through the whole foot into the strap. Long spine. And then we'll lift that leg back up in the air. Take the strap off. Let's come into a half happy baby pose. So hold the left foot, bend your right knee now. Put your right foot on the ground. Drop your left knee toward your left shoulder. Notice if you want to tip to the left, stay neutral in the pelvis as best as you can. And then move your left foot toward your right knee like you wanted to do a reverse pigeon pose. But instead, just hold on to your knee and your foot and do some circling rolls in that hip joint. Increasing our mobility here, letting our hips start to feel like they have some freedom, hopefully. And then we'll release that and stretch to a star again. Big breaths in, exhale, knees into the chest. And let's roll to your side and come up to your hands and your knees. Okay, let's find our way onto or into some cat-cows. So as you arch and round the spine, take your time to feel your way into this pose. Feeling the breath move through you. Notice how good it feels in your body. What's feeling really good? What are you noticing? What part of your embodiment are you really enjoying? Okay. All right, and then wag your tail or move around in your hips, your shoulders. Just feel any level of freedom in your body that you want. All right, and then we'll drop down to a child's pose. Feel that deep compression in your hip joints. Stretch your arms overhead and find some length. A full breath here. All right, walk the hand over to the left and feel the long side body. Breathing deeply. And we'll go over to the other side and enjoy that side body stretch, stretching through your lats, your shoulders, even all the way down to your hip. And then come back to center. Find any kind of movement you want. You can wag your tail, wiggle around, cat cow. And then we'll find our way to a twist, reaching the arm up in the air while we're there. Roll your wrist around, get that joint space to open up. And then we'll slide that arm under for a twist. Relax through your skull. Breathe deeply. All right, and square yourself to the ground a little bit. Stretch that outer shoulder. And we'll reach that arm back up in the air. Hand down onto the ground. Let's switch sides, arm up. Exhale, slide that arm under, gaze toward the ground. Breathing deeply. And then from here, face the ground a little bit, let that outer shoulder stretch open, drop the shoulders away from the ears, melt your face. And we'll reach that arm up in the air. Roll your wrist around if you'd like. Feel that sense of freedom in your hand, and then place both hands down onto the ground. Lift all the way up to a dog pose. And let's put a lot of these stretches together now where we get to open up the full back line of our body. So root to rise. Take your time to feel lots of space, and then begin to pedal your feet so that you feel, a little more awakening through your Achilles, your calves, your hamstrings, letting your pelvis move a little bit. That movement can land all the way into your shoulders if you're like. Don't feel like you have to hold yourself still. Let movement happen. And then when you feel ready to ground into this pose in stillness, root down. Lengthen out. Fill yourself with breath. All right, then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, a forward fold. Release your knees, let them bend as much as you want. Opening up your back body, relax your head. Let's come to a halfway lift, hands on legs or blocks, stretching open thigh bones up and back. And while we're here with our hands on blocks, let's pedal our feet again. So moving one hip back, then moving the other hip back. And just maybe your knee crosses the midline, just letting those hips find some mobility. And then ground through your feet, spread open all the bones of your feet again. Feel four corners, melt to fold. Push through your feet, rising up, bringing the arms to the sky. A little bit of a back bend here, open that heart up. Let's cactus open our shoulders and elbows so our chest gets broad. We feel the back body. Exhale, round in, chin to chest. Interlace your fingers like fists and pull your hands away from you, stretching the back of your shoulders. Inhale, rise up, arms, hands to the sky, tip back. And then a big swan dive forward. Relax your head. A halfway lift, opening up through your spine, melting to fold here. Step back to a dog pose, long spine. Breathing deeply, get as much spaciousness in your body as you can. Start to feel your breath rhythm again, that sound. Listen to the sound of your breath. Come into the rhythm of breathing. On your next inhale, forward into a plank, feel your stability. Push the ground away and feel your core support you, your lats, your legs, your glutes, everything is supporting you. And then we'll find the ground. Roll the shoulders a few times, releasing any tension there. Inhale for a cobra pose, opening up the front of the spine. Exhale, relaxing back down. On the breath, one more time, rising on the inhale and coming back down on the exhale. Up onto all fours, and let's wiggle and move the spine. Bring your right foot forward to a lunge. Lift your back knee up off the ground. And let's go ahead and bend and straighten the front knee, giving yourself a little bit of range of motion here, finding that familiar feeling that we found earlier in the hamstring. See if you can feel your breath moving through your body. All right, ground your lunge. Push through your feet, rising up. Crescent lunge, feel that spaciousness in your body. And we'll turn to the right. Drop the shoulders, finding your breath. And spin on open, turn all the way to the side of your mat and bring your hands down, wide legs. Release your head. Hasrita. Finding breath here. A halfway lift, extend the spine. Heel toe your feet in, maybe if you need to, a little bit more. Elbows inside your knees, a deep squat, stretching the inside of your legs now. Find a little weight bearing in your right, find a little weight bearing in your left. Just a little bit of rocking to and fro. And then we'll turn back to the front of your mat, walk your back foot forward, Uttanasana. A halfway lift, opening up the spine. Exhale and step back with your right leg. Lunging with your left in front now, opening up the heart space. And we'll start to bend and straighten. Notice how your practice is an act of self-care, that we're becoming embodied, we're listening to our breath, we're feeding ourselves prana, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind. And ground yourself, push through your feet, rising up for a crescent here. Open up the heart a little bit, try to climb out of your pelvis. And then we'll twist to the left. Drop the shoulders. Feel a sense of freedom in your breathing, even though there's restriction in the pose. Okay, one more time. Turn to the other side of your mat. Wide legs again. Hasrita. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. And heel toe your feet in a little bit. Another deep squat. Elbows inside your knees. And find your way here. A little bit of bearing weight left. A little bit of bearing weight right. And then come back to center. Inhale, standing star. Reach your limbs really wide. And relax your hands down. Bring your legs together and turn back to the front of your mat. And pause for a moment in a Tadasana. And just notice, spending a little time caring for your body. We're not doing anything extreme. Everything we've been doing is just the regular way of just keeping mobility and flexibility alive in your body. So feel the difference that it's making within you. Okay, turn sideways on your mat, some wide legs. And we're going to First, we'll do just a simple standing pose and then we'll do some dynamic flow here. So turn your right foot out. We'll come into Parsvakonasana, elbow on your knee and stretch your left arm overhead and feel the ground. Feel the root of your feet open up through your spine. Feel your chest expand and breathe. A deep sense of support of the strength of your legs. A deep sense of openness in the fullness of your body. All right, and then we'll come on up. Turn your feet the other way. So we're coming into the left foot now. Bring your elbow onto your knee and bring that arm overhead. Relax through the base of the skull. Let there be kind of a feeling of drawing down your tail toward the back heel at the same time as reaching your crown. So we're long and spacious through our spine. The feet ground us, our legs support us, so push into the earth, feel the strength of your legs. And come all the way back up. Okay. So hopefully our legs are, warmed up and stretched open and the hips are feeling nice and mobile. So when we come into this flowing posture, we have the capacity to use our legs instead of our back, using our hips and our legs. Okay, so we're going to come over to the right and slide to the left and lift up. So when you do this, try not to do this where we're moving from our back. We want to feel the support of our legs take us where we're going. Sometimes I put a block between my hands to do this, so you can do that if you'd like. And as you move, bring yourself fully into your breath. Notice where your body wants to inhale, where it feels comfortable to exhale. One more time this direction, and we'll pause at the top. Find your breath. Relax your arms down. Before we do the second side, we'll come to a deep squat. Okay, and don't feel like you have to go all the way down. You can be anywhere along the range that feels right to you. Put your hands anywhere they want. They could be up, they could be forward, they could be down. Breathe well. Relax your shoulders, be upright instead of bowing forward. Feel the four corners of your feet. And then we'll push straight, arms overhead, a standing star, and now we'll go the other direction. So we'll head to the other side, over, and climb up. Now you can do different things with your arms. If overhead feels difficult, then you don't have to bring your arms over. You can just cross them in front of you. But try to go in that circular form, using your legs. One more time. And we'll meet at the top again. Bring your legs a little bit closer, still wider than your hips, but maybe not quite as wide. And we'll come down to a comfortable squat. So you do you can have your legs closer, you can have your legs farther, find what feels good, and we'll come here. Okay, now lift your chest. Instead of leaning over, lift your chest, get your feet organized, press into the feet, reach the arms up. So maybe it feels like a wide chair pose. And then we'll come up onto our toes. Find your breath. Turn back to the front of your mat for a dog pose. All right, so let's lengthen here and breathe. And inhale. And exhale. Come forward into a plank. You can always put your knees down if you need. That's all. Find the ground. Any back bend of your choice. It could be a cobra, but maybe it's something different. And relax to melt back down. Come up into it, all fours for a moment, and then settle deeply into the hips again. Drop back into a child's pose. Find your breath here. We're going to come into a pigeon. Hopefully our hips are nice and warmed up and opened up to really receive a pigeon pose. So you can always flip over onto your back for a reverse pigeon if you prefer. Let's start with our right leg in front. I have a blanket that I am putting underneath my hip and my right hip and my left thigh. So just kind of see what feels right for your body. Okay, let's extend and open up here. Breathing fully and deeply. And then we'll come down and rest. And so squaring hips. See what it feels like to support your head. It could be on a block, it could be on your fists. Adjust anything so that your joints feel good. You want your hip, your SI joint, your knee joint, your ankle joint, all to feel safe and stable and supported. Once you're there, square the hips, lengthen the spine, melt your face. Relax your shoulders. Come all the way back out of this pose. When you feel ready, lift up and we'll switch over to the other side. Just take your time as we find this deep hip stretch. Adjust anything that needs adjusting, more support, less support. You can bring your heel closer to your pubic bone or further away. Lengthen through your spine and support your head on a block or on your hands so that your forehead feels the sense of support underneath you, so that the ground lifts up toward your forehead. You want everything to feel supported. How's your breath? Steady, beautiful inhale. A complete exhale. Right. Let's find our way out of this pose. Before, we're going to get a little deeper into our hips in just a moment, but first, let's just have a quad stretch. So lie down on your right side. You can use a block under your head if you'd like, or blanket. Bend your knees, and let's grab onto the top of your left ankle and stretch that left leg back. Okay, so stabilize with your core. We're not falling to the ground. We're nice and stable with our core. And draw your whole thigh bone back. Tail is long toward the knee. Pubic bone lifting toward the belly button. Keep the knee in line with the hip instead of letting it lift toward the sky. All right, we'll relax and come out of there, come rolling to the other side. So we're going to be on our left now. Lying on your left, support under your head if you'd like, bend your knees, grab onto your right ankle, and stretch your right heel towards your right buttock. See if you can feel your tail descend, your pubic bone lift. The knee stays in line with the hip instead of lifting toward the sky. So there's a lot of stabilizing around this stretch to keep your low back, your pelvis in good form. Let your whole femur bone draw long and back. All right, and then when you're ready to relax that, we'll come up to a comfortable seat. This is to just prepare, everything we're doing is to prepare us for some seated posture. Okay, so we'll have a moment in a fire log. So if you can't stack your shins, no problem. So we're gonna have our left leg on top of our right leg. And you can erase the wrinkles in your inner ankle by stretching through your heel a little bit more. Now, if this is too much, you can lean back and put your hands on the ground and get that bottom foot, your right foot out and put it on the ground. So you're kind of more in like a reverse pigeon pose, but you're seated with your chest nice and lifted, or fire log. Okay, so whichever works for you. Now remember, there's always ways to back off. There's always ways to deepen. First, lift your spine and get weight in both sit bones. And if you have more to offer this pose, you can take your hands to the soles of your feet and press your feet and hands into each other. So there's a little bit of counter pressure. And then release that pressure and lengthen your heart forward. Think less about down, more about up and forward. And you can repeat that a couple of times where you press hands and feet into each other and then release to go a little deeper. The core is supporting you a bit. See if you can keep the spine long. Keep your breath moving. The goals are not to be super flexible. The goals are to be mobile, and sometimes if we overstretch, we actually affect our mobility negatively. So we want to have stable joints that are free. We don't want to have overstretched ligaments. That doesn't create stability. So make sure the stretching that you do is in a safe zone for your body. Let's come on out of that posture and switch sides. Now you might notice that one side's very different. And if your knee's like up here and you're rolling back and you can't sit up straight, or your ankle is all twisted, then adjust something to get that lower leg out of there and put it on the ground and lean back onto your hands. The hands behind you will give you all this space to lift from. So take the posture that's right for your body. If you're in fire log and you want to go deeper, you can do the hand press and release on this side. First, ground your sit bones and keep always your spine elevating. If you're pressing and release, you just try not to hold your breath. Sometimes we can hold our breath in this, so just make sure you're still breathing. Wherever the place you're in, your spine is spacious. Your breath is deep and full. All right, then we'll come out of there. Come onto your back for a moment. Let's do a twist. Okay. Knees into your chest, or first maybe stretch out and just that feels good. Stretch out your legs and wobble them, like rotating them in, out with nice straight legs. Just let your hips relax, the backs of your knees open up. And then when you're ready for a twist, we'll take it. So feet down, scoot your hips over, knees up and to the side, either side, whichever way you're going is great. Turn your head in opposition and breathe. Switching sides. All right. Relax out of there. We'll come to sit up unless you want to do this lying down. So here's the first fork in the path for self-care. Okay, so if you're like, I absolutely need to lie down right now, that's the best choice for me, then you stay there. You can do this lying down. If you're ready to sit up for just a few minutes, not very long, let's find a comfortable seat on a perch. So make sure you're sitting on something. Hopefully your hips are not too fatigued and you feel freedom and stability. So as you're here in an upright posture, ground yourself and feel the stability and spaciousness of your spine. Whichever position you're in, we'll start with self. So loving kindness meditation, we just breathe in whatever you is known and also maybe unknown to your mind's eye right now of anything that you're struggling with. Breathe in the knowing, the awareness, the presence of what that is. And when you breathe out some self-love. Just offer yourself the boon of your breath, the loving kindness from your heart, the release through your body, the sense of ease. Can you offer yourself gentleness, easefulness? If you'd like to say the traditional words, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be at ease. And these don't have to be the words that you choose. It could be no words and you're just offering a blessing to self. You can always return to this offering of self as we go at any time. Now think of someone that you love, that you might be struggling in some way that you're aware of, and breathe in this knowing of their struggle, the sitting in presence with their suffering, not running away from it or trying to fix it, but to just sit in the presence of whatever the struggle is. And on the out breath, offering your blessings, your love, your compassion, your care. It could show up as words in your mind. It could show up as feeling state in your body. We breathe in an awareness of the suffering, a presence of the suffering, and we breathe out our presence of loving compassion. Now moving toward those children that you heard. Okay, so the sound of children, conjure up any child. It could be a child you've seen in the news. It could be a child that lives in your home. It could be a child that you're very close to or a child you've never met. But conjure up one child and let them represent all children everywhere. And breathe in whatever suffering you sense. And breathe out your protection, your loving kindness, your compassion, your trust, your safety, your support. Whatever the words are, whatever the feeling state is that you are intuiting, we breathe in a presence, a knowing of pain and suffering, and we breathe out our loving compassion. Can you feel your heart beginning to melt in connection? Can you be steadfast in your capacity to sit in the presence of what is? And now reach outward across spans of space, wherever your heart goes. Wherever in the world you're sending some energy, it could be to your next door neighbor, it could be halfway around the world, it could be to one person, it could be to many people. See if you can just touch our common humanity. What if the person or people were your dearest loved ones that you knew so very well? Can you touch the common humanity as you breathe in the suffering and breathe out your loving kindness? And reach to the whole world. Let's try to just touch humanity, even beyond humanity, touch all living beings. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be at ease. Right? Begin to let that dissolve. And notice if you feel, even though you're touching pain, do you feel more capacity to hold this? Do you feel that the connection of our humanity actually supports you, emboldens you, brings out creative energy, courageous energy in you? And let's take these last couple of moments to lie on our back and just spend a couple of minutes in some restfulness. So return to that sense of self. As you lie down, if you maybe you're already lying down, but as you rest here, anything that can fall to the earth, let it go. Now we can entrust ourselves to the support of the earth. Stay in the flow of your breath. Begin to deepen our breathing. A little bit of stretching, a little bit of moving, whatever feels good to you. And see as you transition, if you can make a commitment to yourself to incorporate some self care into your day, whatever that looks like for you. Some quiet moments of breath, of contemplation, of rest. As you come up onto a comfortable seat, let's feel that connection to our humanity one more time, palms together at your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Blessings.